Hey everybody, Bernie Gallerani with Bernie Gallerani Real Estate, and I'm bringing you a video today just kind of combating a little bit of an email I received where somebody sent it through a social media site thinking that renting was actually better than buying. That is absolutely so not true, and I'm going to explain to you why right now. A lot of these homes that we're in right now, we're in a neighborhood here in Nashville or in Hendersonville that is one I'm familiar with. I lived in this neighborhood 13 years ago. I know what these houses are worth. I know what they're worth today, and I knew what they were worth when I sold it 13 years ago. And it's an interesting topic because there's so many people today that are renting and thinking that that's actually the best way to go. First of all, let me say this to you. If you're worried about down payment money, there's so much opportunity right now. There's even programs out there with 100% financing taken care of. You don't even have to hardly come out of pocket anything at all. There's also programs like FHA and VA and very low down payment programs that anybody can get into. So that is really not the issue. I really don't feel like that should be what holds people back. Part of it is, well, I can rent for less than I can actually pay for a mortgage. And the answer to that probably is true. Paying a mortgage payment is going to be a little bit more money than if you were to rent an apartment. Let me give you an example. If you were to pay for an apartment, let's just say 10 years ago or 12 years ago in this neighborhood, you would have probably paid somewhere between $800 and let's call it $1,200 a month for rent. If you were to buy this house 10 years ago at $300,000, which is what these homeowners paid for back in the day 10 years ago, you would have actually had a mortgage payment of property taxes and interest on a property of about $1,900 a month. So you would have had a $1,900 house payment to buy a $300,000 home, which is what these homes were worth 10 years ago. Today, these homes are worth $650,000 to $700,000. So if you look at that, $350,000 to $400,000 of equity that each one of these homeowners have had an opportunity to collect over the last 10 years. And this is what I'm saying. Every night and every week and every month and every year, they're coming home to their home, they're raising their families, just like you are if you're renting a house. If you're renting a house, you have a family, you have your kids or whatever it might be in the house that you're renting. And yet at the same time, you're renting it and the person who owns the home is developing the equity. If you owned a home like this for the last 10 years, you'd come home and you'd make your same house payment a little bit higher than you would your rent. But what's really interesting about paying your mortgage payment versus paying your rent, every single year, your rent will go up. Typically, let's just talk about it going up $100 every single year. So in 5 years, your rent payment's gone up $500. So if you're paying a $1,200 or $1,000 house payment, you now have a $1,500, $1,700 rent payment. That's just in 5 years. If you own this beautiful home and you bought it 10 years ago and your mortgage payment was $1,900, it stays $1,900. No matter what, it stays $1,900, right? You have a 30-year fixed mortgage, it's gonna stay $1,900. But here's where the real catcher is. The next year, your rent's gonna go up $100, your mortgage payment stays the same. The next year, the mortgage payment stays the same. The next year, the mortgage payment stays the same. Eventually, your $1,000, $1,200 rent payment now becomes $2,000, $2,200, $2,300, and now 10 years has passed. Now you're paying $2,000, $2,200 for rent. Your mortgage on this house from 10 years ago was $1,900. It's still $1,900 because you're in a fixed rate for 30 years. Now here's where the real fun part comes in. These people who have lived in these homes for 10 years, who have paid that mortgage payment, are now paying less than you are for renting, and they get all the tax write-offs, which you don't get as renting. All the improvements they get to have write-offs. It's a great thing about the United States government, you get to write off a lot of things. But here's the best part. These people who live in this neighborhood, by going and enjoying their family and living their life for the last 10 years, going to bed in their beds and waking up and going to work just like you do if you're renting, they now have $350,000 to $400,000 in equity just in 10 years because they chose 10 years ago to buy and not to rent. So I'm just gonna say this to everybody. If you believe renting is better, you need to go back and recalculate your situation. If you think you don't have enough money, there's always money programs out there to help you guys get into a house. Regardless of what this young man who actually sent this video and said renting is better than owning, it is not. There's nothing that ever indicates that renting is better than owning. Owning and developing wealth, it's the #1 biggest investment that any human being typically has is an investment in their own home. It's always the #1 asset that people have, and if you do not have a home, then you're missing out on a massive growth asset. I hope that this video finds you well. Please feel free to send any comments or messages if you'd like, and I hope everybody has a great day.